Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we're going to be starting a double ultimate battle. I've cast some ultimate battles here in the past. It's generally about 9 games, all of which will end up getting played no matter what happens, but this is a special version put on by my good friend Caster Muse. It's called Double Ultimate Battle. It's going to be Team Terran against Team Zerg here. No, not 2 versus 2. I'm sorry if that disappoints you, but instead we are going to have a bunch of great 1 versus 1s. Team Terran is going to be Scan, Bishop, going up against DDasik and Absolute. You can see some of their, things that they've done down at the bottom. All these guys have done very well in ASL. Bishop's been, or in ACS rather, which is the intro league to ASL. Bishop has been in ASL, I want to say twice, but it might be once. Scan has definitely been in twice and has gotten the furthest out of everyone into that round of 16. DDasik has been in ASL. Absolute hasn't made it in yet, but he's very, very close. A really, really great set of players going against each other. And let's just take a quick look at what those maps will look like. So we're going to go set 1, Bishop versus DDasik. And then we're going to do that again. And this should say deja vu. And yeah, anyways, looking through it, you can see we're just going to switch back and forth quite a bit. And yeah, so that's what it's going to look like. And so we're going to get it started. Let's go. So for game number 1 here, up in the top right of Metropolis, we have, well, this is DDasik, just so you know. He goes by the ID Job a lot. And Sushik will be Absolute, and Bishop and Scan will play on their actual IDs. So yes, we have up here DDasik, and down here we have Bishop. So should be a very fun game number 1. This is going to be a pretty exciting series, I think, because obviously it's going to build throughout. But also, like, Bishop is one of the players that people really love on this channel. I would say he's... Yeah, I feel like it's like, okay, Flash does best viewership-wise, but Bishop does so many strategies that are different from most people that a lot of people really, really love to watch his games. You know, he does like a lot of Wraith play, a lot of very different, interesting things, so should be fun. And of course, everyone's a big Scan fan, so gonna be a really great series to see them. Of course, DDasik and Absolute are really strong. I've casted a fair amount of their games on here. Not as much as Bishop or Scan. They aren't generally quite as active on the ladder and aren't quite as... they haven't done quite as much, I guess, in the scene as Scan and Bishop. So just, you know, they're just like a little bit less. But you definitely have seen them if you watch a lot of ArtosisCasts. I think we haven't seen Absolute games for the most part since the last CNSL. Yeah, I feel like that's the last time I casted him. But, you know, a very, very strong player. But anyways, DDasik, he did get in like 3 or 4 seasons ago into ASL. Didn't have the greatest time. No one does on their first try. But yeah, there you have it. So looking down here, Bishop is opening up with a fast gas, which shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who watches a lot of Bishop games. This guy really, really does like to open with technical openers. Whether this is going to be a 2-port Wraith or some sort of Vultra opener remains to be seen. The SCV going to go out and start scouting. It's actually a cross-spawn scout here. This might be to double-check and make sure there's no center barracks here from Bishop, but he's going to be lucky and scout Bishop first anyways. That kind of came from a funny angle, so I don't know if he'll be able to read. The thing is, you might, even if you're scouting a close spawn, you might hit center first, so it's hard to adjust and say, okay, the angle that came from the center, so let's go cross-map. That can actually screw you up because sometimes you scout Zerg really late at that point. A lot of times it's better to just stay on track for where you wanted to scout anyways. But yeah, it looks like he will veer. I'm not sure if he saw that Overlord. He may have, though. And the drone actually comes up and mines a mineral. I like that quite a bit. If you're trying to block this, there might be a universe in which mining this could be done. I feel like we haven't seen a game like that done offensively mining. But you never know. Crazy things occasionally happen in StarCraft, and no reason not to grab it, I guess, right? Like, you're going to mine the minerals anyways with the drone. You can just bring one back from this location. So, factory is being made. We can see that there's nothing mining gas here for Bishop, so he is just going to go directly into a command center and open up with this Vulture play. Will he go Starport for, like, a Valkyrie rush after this? I mean, he could as well go for a Wraith after this, but that's getting pretty weak. So I think it's going to be a mech play or a Valkyrie play. And he goes Armory instead of Starport. So this is going to be a mech play. If you go Armory right afterwards, and yeah, he should be throwing down a depot here as well. So that's going to be kind of cool to see some mech here out of Bishop. Haven't seen him go straight mech all that often. You know, mech recently, like, there have been some people trying various mech builds. There are some interesting ideas around mech right now. We've definitely seen a few of those games on this channel. Not sure what he's doing with this barracks. Throws down the add-on with a single vulture, which is completely fine. You can make a second vulture if you want, but he might... I mean, it's possible he'll do that anyways, but I think he'll probably just go right into Goliaths if you made this armory that quickly. I'm actually very excited to see what he wants to do with this mech play, because a lot of the mech plays we've seen lately have been very tricky mech plays where, like, for instance, you're expanding and making it look like a marine expand, like a bio opener, and then you're going into mech. So this is like a much more straightforward approach. Now you can see the spire is part of the wall here, which is purposeful. When you're playing against mech, you can put buildings up at the front to help choke and make it harder for vultures to do anything. Third base here. That third hatch on a base. 2 drones going up here is very weird. So he's going to go 4 base immediately. This... Okay, so this is very interesting, and this is so different from how top pros play. This is actually what I would call a ladder strategy. This is the type of thing where, like, for instance, for me, I get frustrated playing the ladder. Like, if I try to go mech, my opponent will do something like this, and I'd be like, well, damn, his economy is just so big. Like, I can kill a few drones, but it's really, really hard. And then you never see the top pros ever play a game that looks anything like this, and it's really hard to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do. So I'm actually kind of excited to see what is this going to look like. The Vulture scouts one of the hatcheries. It does not scout this third base. It scouts only the 4th base. But the thing is, the hatch is fast enough that you're like, okay, yeah, he's going 3 base. So Bishop might just be a bit behind here. Now, Muta's being hatched, and I think if you're going to take this many bases this quickly, odds are you're going to make an unbelievably large amount of Mutalisks. Like, you are going to go pure Muta for a bit and just kind of lean on having a lot of Mutalisks to clean up anything that happens, and then do a transition after maybe you win, like, 1 fight, that type of thing. So he removes this Vulture right away. Do note that there is no engineering bay here for Bishop. Now, the no engineering bay this is like one of those newer strats. The first time I saw it was a 4GG game, but we've now seen players like Flash use this occasionally as well. Everyone's tried this out a little bit, but basically you just go very fast Goliath, and you just make a lot of Goliaths as quickly as you can to block the Mutalisks. And as you can see, you got the armory so quickly, he's already got range when the Mutas get here. He's going to be able to push it all back. He's going to 5 factory super, super fast. So it looks to me like Bishop is going to be doing a timing attack. And... yeah, like, that's actually going to be really scary. You know, when you're skipping the eBay altogether, you can make a hell of a lot of Goliaths really, really quickly. Right now, we have DDasik taking, like, a lot of... well, not taking a lot of bases. He already took a lot of bases, but he's making a lot of drones right now. Like, he's saturating these bases. So his economy is going to, like, explode. It's going to be insane. And, in fact, second Spire... second Spire. That is so sick. I'm getting chills. So he's just going to go heavy Mutalisk upgrades. So what he's relying on here is no splash damage from Science Vessels. The right counter to this would probably have to do with Science Vessels, because they don't care about upgrades. This is pretty wild. And before people start saying, well, he should mix some Valkyries with the Goliaths, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. That's not something you can do. You can't afford that. It's so much money put into units that really only are good against air units. If your opponent even thinks about making a Hydralisk den, you die. That's it. Like, you just, because I've seen that happen a lot, where Mutas might overwhelm Goliaths, and they're like, oh, why not, you know, just make a few Valks with it. Valkyrie Goliath isn't a thing. Science Vessels, you can go with Goliath, and you might be like, oh, but Artosis, that's more gas. The thing is, the Science Vessel has a lot more utility, And while you're going Science Vessel, you switch into Vulture and Harass. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. Whereas if you're trying to go Valkyrie here, it's like, okay, so are you going Valkyrie Vulture? Like that reminds me of some StarCraft 2 comps that we used to see that just didn't work, where like you defend everything and then you can never attack your opponent. And that would be kind of what that would be. It's like, yeah, you have no attacking potential. You can't actually kill them, right? Whereas just making Pure Goliath, it's like, okay, well, you can attack with Pure Goliath. So anyways, that's the kind of explanation on that. 2-1 upgrades on the way for these mutas. This is a ton of mutalisks. And let's see how many Goliaths there are. Let's zoom way out here. So he's got a group there. There's 1, 3. That's, okay, so another 8. So he's got 20 Goliaths with +1 going forward. And this is like, I'm not sure exactly how many mutas left right now. So that's 11. And it looks like he has about 24 mutas. So he actually has more mutas overall. He does have that +1 going up against +1. Here we go. Bishop pushing forward. Is there enough here? You have to just dive. You can't micro here. Like, he should not have pulled back. He should have just gone immediately. You don't want him to get extra hits. And you can see a little bit of microing back there. But you just have to commit. If you're going for the mass mutalist strategy, you can't turn around like this. The Goliaths just keep getting free shots. You have enough or you don't, and you go. He's trying to buy time for more Sunkens, but he's taking more damage than the Sunkens will save him by running away. Bishop right now with such a ridiculous amount of Goliaths. I do wonder if DDasik was too greedy in this game. And it looks like Bishop is just going to straight win. Like, this is one of the Spires. He's losing Overlords. It looks to me like this game is over. And yeah, I think so. Maybe if he took one less base, he could have just had a little bit more on the Mutalisks, start that production more consistently a little bit earlier. Maybe a bit too greedy. Great punish there from Bishop. Just the pure Goliath play. Pretty straightforward. Like, you can't have a much easier Terran strategy than this. Make many Goliaths, attack Zerg. That was the entirety of this mech build. And it did fantastically. He's still trying to break through, and you can see that still at this point, DDasik is trying to hold on. He's still making a lot of mutas, but the amount of Goliaths just coming across the map is completely absurd. Not quite enough Sunkens. Yeah, maybe if he just makes a few more Sunks. That's it. GG. Let's go to game 2. Going into game number 2. It is Bishop going up against DDasik once again, and it does look like Bishop wants to do a forward 8 racks this game. We'll see if it's going to be a double forward 8 racks. The next SCV would have to be sent out here immediately. But no, it's going to be a single forward 8 racks, so it will have a factory follow-up. So it should be like a Marine bunker push, and, that always has potential to deal lots of damage, and sometimes end the game if your opponent doesn't deal with it correctly. But the follow-up will be Vulture-based. We don't know where he'll go from there. Will it be an expansion? Will it be into, like, a drop? Will it be into 2-port Wraith? It could be really any number of things. But let's see how DDasik plays this, because don't forget, in the previous game, he did cross-spawn Scout, and finding this earlier is obviously much better than finding it later. His Overlord going up, and the drone just kind of going towards that natural expansion, so he's going to go hatch first, which is exactly what Bishop is looking for. Second, SCV actually coming out right now, and this is just a Scout SCV. You can see he does throw down his gas. The gas, is like 8 seconds slower than it would normally be with like a normal build in your base, 8-9 seconds, something like that. It's a little bit slower, but you put on enough Marine pressure that you still get your factory out in time that you can stop. Like, if they stop your bunker push, you generally have your Vulture popping out as the Zerglings get to your base, so it kind of all works out. Now, he actually went cross-map with the drone, so he actually finds that it is an 8 racks. So you have to take this very seriously. Most Zergs, I find, against an 8 racks, pull like 7 drones or so. And I've seen a little bit of variation in that, but you just have to take it very, very seriously. And at this point, really good Zergs, I've seen Soulkey hold off Lights, like 2 barracks in the center with drones before. Like, it's the build is not as good as it used to be. And the single 8 racks, a lot of people are having a hard time getting damage. But this is 5 drones. Like, this is the worst number. We just keep them in your base. What are we doing? factory is being proxied. So Bishop's going pretty strongly all in here. He's making the bunker. This bunker is just out of range of that hatchery. One hex up, and he would be able to hit the hatchery as well. So I think that's just like a little bit of a mistake. The drones are still like dancing around in the center of the map. Here comes some Lings. He is going to get this bunker up in time with 3 Marines in it. And the other couple Marines will be chased down, I guess, by these drones. You'd think you'd want the pressure of this being a little bit closer. Now, he does make a bunker behind, which is kind of funny because when you unload this, they pop out here. But if you wait for it to die, then they'll pop out in the center and you can reload more quickly. But anyways, DDasik is actually going to be able to kill this off like really, really quickly. Vulture being made, he's going to need that defensively, and then he'll probably try to float this into the main base. More Marines being made in the center. The Ling's just chasing Marines. Bishop needs to buy a little bit of time. This is not working out super well for him. He's super, super low on workers. Hasn't really found the damage that he was looking for here. And yeah, pulling back the SCV. The thing is, there's an Overlord here. You see the SCV coming back. You're probably pretty sure it's a proxy Vulture. Maybe he doesn't float. Maybe he just makes Vultures here and brings them down. Oh, sorry, we missed the Vulture that came down and got killed. Looks like he did get 2 drone kills, though. Yeah, kind of a weird-looking game. And in fact, this Marine is just barely not going to make it into the bunker. It's looking like pretty bad, but the Vultures actually have insane value here. He should probably just bring all the drones into his main base and hold Hydras on the high ground, because you're never going to lose the hatchery to this. That just wouldn't be something that would ever happen. Yeah, he's having to fight here against the Lings, and yeah, you have a Marine in the bunker now, so technically I guess you don't die, but he can still kill a few SCVs here, and killing anything is pretty brutal. They're both very badly hurt, but you have the extra hatchery. You have a lot more production here for Zerg. And you don't have really high-quality stuff going for Terran. Oh my god, he gets 2 more SCVs. I think Bishop's pretty dead here. Like, the Vultures, again, they still have some potential. Like, if he... Okay, 4 Vultures. This one's red, so if it gets targeted down quick, that does make a difference. But 4 Vultures and a Marine can kill 3 Hydras. You do need to pull these back. You need to pull them up so they're all having the miss shots. And the thing is, he's trying to have enough to pressure the hatchery to make the Hydras actually come down and fight. Okay, this is actually really smart bringing this in. It's actually like drawing Marine fire while he fights against the Vultures. Unranged Hydras, unranged, unspeeded Hydras, the Vultures actually do really surprisingly well against. Like, you can actually flick shot them. The range is really, really bad on Hydras without the upgrade. And you can see he is microing really well, though. Not something you normally see. And yeah, I think he just kind of holds everything here. Trying to go after another drone. But he's like, there's no follow-up for Bishop. Like, what you see is what you get. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, he's still making Marines and Vultures out of these, but that's pretty bad. He's taking a lot of damage. As this, like, cloud of Hydras gets larger, he's going to have less and less that he can get done. You know, he's just... We're basically already at critical mass at 6, where if you're producing Hydras somewhat regularly and your opponent is going Marine Vulture regularly here, the Hydras are going to end up just winning. And he's even making a creep colony to make sure there's, like, no counterattack potential as well. It takes a lot of Vultures and Marines to take down a creep colony, or a sunken colony, rather. So DDasik has taken complete control of this game. Really doesn't look like one that Bishop has any potential come back from. I think his best course of action might be to sit on the high ground and hope his opponent attacks up. But if his opponent doesn't attack up, like, he's got to think about attacking. But as soon as you pull back to the sunken, this will never die to that. Not even close. Not even close. Layer on the way. Bishop just hasn't been making SCVs. He's been putting all of his money into units, which does make sense. Like, you know, you have to try something here. He's bringing up an SCV as well. Maybe you can tank with this. Oh. Okay, so he's going to make a bunker. That's going to draw the Hydras out, and he's going to try to go into siege tanks for a push. That makes sense. That makes sense. I like the idea. I definitely can't think of anything better than that. Definitely can't think of anything better. It's like, what are the other ideas? Yeah, like you should still squeeze in some SCVs. You never know if maybe those will help at some point, but you can't really recover in any sort of macro game. So it's basically down to, like, do we try to go more bio to break it? Do we try to get like a starport and like drop vultures in the base? None of those sound like they'll work at all. So yeah, I think the siege tank idea is by far the best one. There is a spire on the way. God. Oh my God, this was so smart. I actually didn't recognize that this was exactly in range. That is so funny. That's really well done. Really well done by Dasik. Bishop is trying, man. He's trying to make something happen. I think a big problem here is obviously when the Spire finishes. Even if the Siege Tank had Siege Mode done right now, I still think Dasik would end up winning this game. Just barely, though. But yeah, just the fact that he has to wait longer for the Siege Mode. Like, he's still got like 20 seconds, and then he has to break through everything. There's going to be mutas out. And as soon as mutas are out, like, you know, he can either dive onto the siege tank, he can counterattack and do a base trade type play. It's hard to make mistakes at that point once mutalisks are out. You're just going to get so far ahead. So he does siege up here, and he will start to pummel these sunken colonies. But when you have 6, 8, well, it'll be 7 mutas because that's how much gas he has. When you get your 7 mutas out, they're going to be able to easily kill a bunker with 3 marines in it, easily kill 2 siege tanks. So we should be seeing a GG here, which is nice, because that means we're starting off on very, very even footings. It's going to be 1-1, I think. Right? Like, there's no way to screw this up with 8 mutalisks on the way. Making an engineering bay. Everything's a little bit late here for Bishop. Just didn't get the damage that he was really looking for. Trying to make a secondary bunker now, since he has made some more marines. Definitely a good choice. And yeah, picks off that SV immediately. Bishop GG's. We're tied up 1-1.